Listen, ladies, I'm going to tell you something right now. Men, we simple. We really are. You think we complicated, but no, we're like we five. If we get the right connection at home, we're not out here searching for another signal. Respect makes a man loyal. That's the foundation, the core, the glue that holds everything together in a relationship. You see, a lot of people think love is the most important thing for a man. They think it's the flowers, the romance, the grand gestures, the sweet words that keep him locked in. But what a man really needs, deep down in his bones, is respect. When a man feels respected, he feels valued. When he feels valued, he becomes loyal without even thinking about it. Loyalty for a man is not something you beg him for. It's something you draw out of him by the way you treat him. A man wakes up every day and goes out into the world to fight battles you don't always see. He's fighting to keep his pride, to keep his position, to provide, to win, to feel like he matters. Out there, the world can make him feel small. The job can break him down. People can doubt him. Life can throw punches at him that strip away his confidence. But when he comes home and he sees a woman who looks at him with admiration, who speaks to him with respect, who makes him feel like he's still her king, even when the world treated him like a pawn, that man gets fueled in a different way. He locks in. He's not searching anywhere else because he already feels like the most important man alive in his own house. Respect is not just about saying yes to everything or staying quiet. It's about recognizing his effort, even when he doesn't succeed. It's saying, I see how hard you work for us. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. Those words carry more weight to a man than you'll ever know. When a man feels that from his woman, it builds him up like nothing else. It creates a loyalty that can't be shaken because he ties his identity and his heart to the one place he feels truly honored. A man can get attention anywhere. Looks fade, charm wears off, and flattery is easy to come by. But genuine respect, that's rare. That's the thing he won't risk losing. That's the thing that keeps him walking past temptation, ignoring distractions, and staying locked on the woman who gives it to him. Because he knows that no one else out there can give him that feeling of being deeply valued for who he is and what he brings. The truth is, when a man doesn't feel respected, he starts to drift. He feels invisible. He feels like what he's doing doesn't matter. And when he feels that way long enough, he starts searching for validation somewhere else. But when he feels consistently respected at home, he doesn't need that outside validation. He doesn't even crave it. He's already full. Respect to a man is what oxygen is to fire. It keeps his loyalty burning. Words during intimacy hit deepest. In those moments when the body is vulnerable and the heart is wide open, words don't just pass through the ears. They sink into the soul. A man may hear a compliment in passing. He may catch praise from the outside world, but nothing ever compares to what is spoken in the private, sacred space he shares with his woman. That's when his guard is down, when he isn't trying to be strong, when he isn't fighting the battles of the world. That's when he is open in a way he can't be anywhere else. And because of that, the words spoken in those moments get etched into his spirit. A man can carry those words for a lifetime. Whisper to him that he's the only man you'll ever need, and he won't forget it. Tell him that you feel safe in his arms, and that becomes his mission every single day. Speak to him like he's already your hero, and he will spend his life making sure he never loses that title. These are not just words. They are affirmations that shape the way he sees himself, the way he sees the relationship, the way he sees his role in your life. Think about it. Out in the world, people tell him what he isn't, what he lacks, how he needs to be better, stronger, richer, smarter. But in your presence, in those intimate moments, you have the chance to tell him what he already is. You can speak into existence the version of himself he wants to live up to. A man rises to the words his woman plants in his heart. If she plants doubt, he shrinks. If she plants belief, he grows. And there's no soil more fertile than the space of intimacy, because that's when emotions are raw and connection is at its highest. Even the tone of your words in that space matters. A soft whisper, a tender phrase, a sentence that tells him he is wanted, needed, and chosen. It burns into his memory. He will replay it in his mind long after the moment has passed. That replay becomes his motivation, his reassurance, his anchor. It's not just about passion. It's about programming his heart with the truth that he is enough for you. When a man is convinced of that truth, loyalty is the natural response. Women often underestimate the power of their words. They think men don't need verbal affirmation, that actions are enough. But men, just like women, crave to hear things out loud. They want to know in unmistakable terms that they are desired, appreciated, admired. And while hearing it at dinner or during the day has its place, hearing it in the middle of intimacy cements it in a way nothing else can. That's when he isn't questioning if you mean it, because in that vulnerable state, every word feels 10 times more real. Every man wants to feel chosen. At the heart of a man's desires, beyond money, beyond status, beyond looks, there is this deep craving to know that out of every option you had, you picked him. Men live in a competitive world where they are constantly measured against other men. From the time they are young, they are told to be faster, stronger, smarter, richer, and when they grow up, that competition never really stops. But when it comes to love, when it comes to intimacy, nothing feeds a man's soul more than knowing that he has been chosen above all others, that he is not just an option, but the option. When a woman communicates to a man that she chose him, it flips a switch inside of him. It makes him feel like a winner, like he has accomplished something greater than any career or trophy could ever provide. Because a career can make him successful, but being chosen by a woman he loves makes him significant. That significance is powerful. It is the reassurance that no matter what he lacks, no matter what battles he may lose in the outside world, at the end of the day, he is still enough for the person who matters most to him. A man can walk into a crowded room full of men who are richer, taller, more handsome, more successful. But if his woman looks at him like he's the only man that exists, nothing else compares. That look, that energy, that affirmation that she wants him and only him gives him a confidence that no paycheck, no applause, no recognition could ever provide. It tells him that she didn't settle, she selected, and the selection was him. That thought alone will keep him loyal, because why would he risk losing the one thing that makes him feel irreplaceable? The way a woman expresses that choice doesn't always have to be loud or public. Sometimes it's the little things, like choosing his side in front of others, standing with him when he feels weak, or telling him that out of all the men she could have had, she wouldn't trade him for anyone. Those small reminders reinforce the fact that he was chosen, and every man holds on to those reminders tighter than most women realize. They play over in his mind during times of doubt, during moments of temptation, during seasons when life feels heavy. That reminder of being chosen becomes his anchor. Even in intimacy, those words carry weight. When you tell a man he's the only one for you, that you don't even notice anyone else because your eyes are on him, it doesn't just stroke his ego, it strengthens his bond with you. Because what men fear the most is being replaceable. And what makes them stay, commit, And remain loyal is the belief that no one else could ever take their place in your heart. Affirmation beats competition. Men live in a constant state of proving themselves. From the moment they wake up, they are competing in one way or another. Competing at work for recognition, competing among friends to be respected, competing in society to feel like they measure up. The world rarely lets a man rest because everywhere he turns, there's this silent scoreboard keeping track of who has the most money, who drives the better car, who has the stronger body, who carries the higher status. That scoreboard never shuts off, and for many men, it becomes exhausting trying to keep up. Now, when that same man comes home, when he steps into the place that should give him peace, the last thing he wants to feel is more competition. What a man craves at home isn't someone reminding him of where he falls short, but someone affirming who he already is. When he gets that affirmation, it shuts down the noise of the outside world. Instead of feeling like he has to compete to keep his place, he feels secure in the love he has. A man who feels secure in his woman's words doesn't need the validation of strangers because he's already full. Affirmation does something competition never can. It brings rest. When a woman tells her man she's proud of him, when she acknowledges his effort, instead of only pointing out his flaws, she gives him a kind of peace that no paycheck or promotion can provide. Competition drives a man to chase, but affirmation allows a man to stay. He will fight tooth and nail in the world to earn status, but when he gets home, he wants to feel like he doesn't have to fight for love. He wants to know that no matter what the world says about him, in your eyes, he is enough. And here's the truth, every man has insecurities. No matter how strong or confident he looks on the outside, there are doubts inside of him that he tries to cover up with work, money, or pride. Affirmation from his woman speaks directly to those insecurities. It tells him he is more than what he produces, more than what he earns, more than what he competes for. That kind of affirmation builds a foundation that competition could never shake. When a man feels affirmed at home, he doesn't need to win every battle out there because he already feels like he's won the most important one. Competition might earn respect from strangers, but affirmation earns devotion at home. A man will always remember how a woman made him feel when the world was telling him he wasn't enough. If she chose to affirm him instead of compare him, if she made him feel valued instead of pressured, he ties his heart to her in a way that competition could never break. Because at the end of the day, a man isn't searching for another scoreboard to climb. He's searching for someone who sees him as more than the game itself. Emotional safety locks commitment. For a man, physical attraction might catch his attention. Shared interests might hold his curiosity. But emotional safety is what keeps him committed. Men are taught to hide their feelings to stay strong, to carry the weight without showing weakness. The world expects him to hold it all together, even when he feels like he is falling apart inside. Because of that, most men rarely show their full emotions to anyone. But when he finds a woman who creates a safe space for him to open up, that is where true loyalty is born. Emotional safety means he can lay down the armor he wears every day. It means he doesn't have to pretend to be fearless. He doesn't have to fake strength. He doesn't have to constantly perform. It means he can tell his truth without fear of judgment, ridicule, or rejection. That kind of safety is rare, and when a man finds it, he clings to it. Because while the world celebrates his victories, what he really needs is someone who can handle his vulnerabilities. That becomes the place he goes to recharge, to heal, and to feel whole again. A man who feels emotionally safe with a woman will share parts of himself no one else has ever seen. He will talk about his fears, his failures, his doubts, his dreams, even the things that embarrass him. And when he does that, he's not just sharing information, he's sharing his soul. That act of opening up is his way of giving trust. If his vulnerability is met with care, love, and reassurance, that trust turns into commitment. He's not going to jeopardize the one place where he can be fully himself. On the other hand, if his vulnerability is met with criticism, belittling, or betrayal, he shuts down. He learns to keep that side of himself hidden, and once a man closes that door, it is hard to open again. That's why emotional safety matters so much. It is not just about making him feel good in the moment. It is about building a long, lasting bond that survives storms. A man who feels safe emotionally doesn't look for other women because he knows he won't find that same depth anywhere else. He understands that beauty can fade, excitement can wear off, but the feeling of being safe in someone's presence is priceless. Emotional safety also strengthens intimacy. When a man feels that level of trust, he loves differently. He holds tighter, he gives more, he invests deeper. He isn't afraid to love fully because he knows he won't be shamed for it. That freedom to love without fear makes the relationship stronger than any physical connection alone ever could. Commitment grows naturally from that soil because a man will always return to the place where he feels seen, heard, and accepted. Love is spoken, not just shown. Many people assume that actions alone are enough, that providing, supporting, or simply being present communicates everything that needs to be said. But the truth is, words carry a power that actions cannot always replace. A man can work hard, pay the bills, fix what's broken, and still leave his partner wondering if she's truly loved. In the same way, a woman can give her time, her care, her body, and her presence, but without words of love, a man can still feel uncertain about where he stands. Love becomes real, lasting, and undeniable when it is expressed verbally, when the feelings in the heart are spoken into existence. A man remembers the words you say to him in the quiet moments more than he remembers the gifts you give. When you tell him he matters, when you say he's the only one you want, when you speak life into his spirit, those words echo in his mind long after the moment has passed. He may replay them when he's tired, when he's discouraged, when he feels small in the world. The power of spoken love is that it doesn't just touch the ears, it lingers in the soul, reminding him of his worth and your devotion. Love that is unspoken often leaves room for doubt. People begin to question, to wonder, to search for reassurance in other places. But when love is spoken consistently, it leaves no room for confusion. Words build clarity, and clarity builds security. For a man, that security is everything because when he knows exactly where he stands with you, he can focus all his energy on deepening the relationship instead of second-guessing it. Spoken love provides a foundation, and without it, even strong relationships can crumble under the weight of unexpressed feelings. Spoken love also amplifies actions. A gesture is powerful, but when it is paired with words, it becomes unforgettable. Cooking his favorite meal shows care, but saying, "I made this because I know how much you love it," deepens the meaning. Holding him close shows affection, but whispering, "I never feel right unless I'm in your arms," transforms the moment into something he carries in his memory forever. The combination of action and spoken love builds a bond that is both physical and emotional, both seen and felt. Men are not always good at asking for affirmation, but that doesn't mean they don't crave it. They might act like they don't need to hear certain words, but deep down, they long for them. Every man wants to hear that he is enough, that he is desired, that he is loved in ways no one else can love him. Those spoken truths give him strength, confidence, and commitment. They remind him that he is not just performing in a relationship, he is treasured within it. Love is at its strongest when it is lived out and spoken out, because the heart may feel deeply, but the soul remembers what was said out loud. At the end of the day, every man may look strong on the outside, but inside he is searching for the same things: respect, affirmation, emotional safety, and the reassurance that he has been truly chosen. It's not just about what you do for him, it's about what you say to him, especially in the moments when he is most vulnerable and open. Words carry weight that lasts far beyond the moment. Words shape how he sees himself, and words determine how deeply he ties his heart to you. Actions may start the fire, but spoken love keeps it burning. When you combine respect with affirmation, emotional safety with spoken devotion, you create a bond that no outside temptation can shake. Love is not silent. It is expressed, repeated, and sealed with words that tell him he is enough, he is wanted, and he is yours completely.